Hey everyone, it's time for another reaction video. I mentioned last week that I wanted to do another one of these for Black Friday and that I wanted to do kind of a long one, so that's what this is going to be. And I was thinking about what I could possibly react to, and then I remembered that Gaia is a wonderful treasure trove of insane bullshit, and so I decided to just go over to the Gaia channel and kind of comb through the last year or so of all the slop they've been putting out, and I chose 6 videos that I'm going to be reacting to. It's a little mini marathon here. And it's pretty great because they kind of have it all. They have a bunch of the quantum mysticism bullshit. They have the Anunnaki secret civilization, Graham Hancock on steroids bullshit. It's just quite a wonderful smorgasbord of everything, all the dumbest crap you've ever heard. So that was my decision here. This is going to be, you know, a nice little grab bag of some different things. And I had a little bit of wine with dinner, and I thought this would be a good drinking one. I think we're all kind of in a festive mood, so this is the Balvenie, I think is how you say this. I can't remember who got this for me. I think a friend got this for me at some point. Caribbean cask rum cases. I've tried some of this. It's got quite a kick to it, so I'm gonna kind of rock this one here. And we are going to listen to some insane pseudoscience, some like serious woo on steroids here, and it's gonna be fun. So let's see, I can't think of anything else that I needed to queue up here, so yeah, let's go ahead and start. So this first one is called Crystal Myths, Mysticism, and Divination. Okay, let's begin. Before we dive into the brain rot, let's introduce today's sponsor. While the quantum transmogrifying crystal healers from the High Court of Atlantis that you're about to listen to have zero interest in learning real science, most of us live in the modern world where physics has brought about the information age with all of its futuristic high-tech opportunities. How can you get in on the fun? Well, let me introduce you to boot.dev. Have you ever wanted to learn how to code? Boot.dev is for you. It's the easiest way to learn Python, SQL, Go, and TypeScript. And apart from being super simple and hands-on, it's also gamified into a fantasy theme where Boots the Bear Wizard helps you along your quest as you gain experience points while building real projects. It's like playing an RPG, but you're also getting ahead in life. I went through the first few lessons, and even though I'm pretty technologically incompetent, I found it intuitive and easy to progress. There are daily quests that allow you to earn rewards, community boss battles, and more. Try to top the leaderboard, complete every course, build asteroids, learn cryptography, and when you're done, get cracking on finding that new dream job so you can watch your salary skyrocket. All the content is free to read and watch, but you can also become a member to unlock interactive features with either a monthly or yearly plan. This gives you full solutions for all lessons and access to infinite practice in the training grounds, as well as certificates of completion. Use the QR code you see on your screen or go to boot.dev and use code Professor Dave to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan, with a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. That's boot.dev and use code Professor Dave to set off on your enchanted coding quest today.
Myths and mysteries shroud crystals with elusive power and purpose.
They really don't, though. They're just really pretty looking things that dumb people think are magic because reasons. This kind of, the crystal thing, I'm sorry, it always gets me. Like, they're clearly just like pretty things that people want to be magic. That's really all it is. Just minerals in a crystalline organization. It's just a solid. That's all it is.
Tales of wish-fulfilling jewels, elixirs of life, and advanced technology of ancient civilizations.
Yeah, this crappy stock footage is totally a thing that really existed, and it existed because they have crystals. Look at this bullshit. There's a pyramid, and then there's these little, like, towers, and each tower has a little crystal on it. And that's how they powered the civilization, with crystals, you guys, in this bullshit that somebody made up. Amazing. Great start here.
What was behind the obsession with crystals like the Philosopher's Stone and the Chintamani? Were they actual gems, or were they metaphors for an internal type of treasure? Why has it been said that ancient civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria ran on crystals?
Because that's a very dumb thing that people can say to make money off of gullible people. That would be the answer to that question.
Let's follow the trail of these myths to discover the origins of crystal power.
Native Americans have a special relationship with crystals. It's important to know that our oral history here in North America goes back 127,000 years. We are one of the oldest cultures on Earth. In Native belief, everything that is created in the world comes from a crystal.
Sorry, 127,000 years? Where are you getting that number? I would definitely like to know that. Certainly oral traditions predate written traditions. I don't think we know of anything written that's earlier than something like 4000 BC. Probably the Sumerians would probably be the earliest, early, cuneiform stuff. If you're talking about an oral tradition, how in the fuck are they passing down how many thousands of years it's been? No, they're not. No, they're not. You are lying, Luke Blue Eagle. I'm sorry.
A Cherokee Foundation myth, the one that describes what creates the universe, places at the very center of the created worlds an enormous crystal. From every corner of this crystal are 7 strands reaching out into 7 other strands that each reach out into 7 other strands and thus continuing into infinity. What the crystal matrix is doing is it holding information. The whole universe is based on information. What you dream about for your life is often what manifests. With your thoughts and dreams, you have given information to the world. That information creates favorable circumstances to manifest what you want in your life.
Yes, that's right. When you think about what you want in your brain, it sends magic signals out to a crystal matrix that's 7 and then the 7 and then the magic 7s, lucky 7, right? And then the crystals make the thing that you want to happen because that guy says so, right? He's very wise. He should know. And so if you wish for being in this stock footage of the happy family, you'll get it. Just tell the crystals. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to try. You don't have to apply yourself. You don't have to, you just wish for it and you'll get it. That's right.
Thus, the crystals are dreaming the world as they communicate the information coming from the one source. That one source, you can call it the one light, God, Great Spirit, the primordial intelligence. But what this intelligence needs to create the world is a transmitter. And the transmitter at the center of the universe is this primordial crystal. Thus, all things come from crystals.
Yeah, first of all, there's no center of the universe. That doesn't mean anything. Secondly, there's this magic crystal somewhere in the universe. Why? We have telescopes, right? We can see shit that's really far away. Got any astronomical evidence for your magic crystal in the center of the universe? I didn't think so. That's why you're using shitty stock footage. When astronomers talk about stuff that's out there, they show actual images, right? That's like a thing we can actually see. That's what scientists do. I guess you can't do that.
The Atlanteans were said to have crystal technology. They used these giant crystals as power supplies, as generators, and there is one warning that comes with the legends of Atlantis because they used crystals for everything.
They used crystals for everything, and we know this from all of the non-existent archaeological evidence, right? We know this because when we make shit up, when we pull things out of our asses, that's the same as knowing things, right? Obviously, they used these giant crystals, and we somehow can't reproduce that today. We can't demonstrate it, not even on a small scale, like a middle school science fair project, right? You can't take a fucking geode and power anything. Can you do that? Can we see that at all? Can you demonstrate it at all? Instead of all the stock footage, how about you show us a fucking demonstration? Probably not, right?
They really learned how to harness these crystals, but because of the greed, they pushed it too far, and the crystals actually destabilized the Earth's magnetic grid, which then led to the Earth changes that sunk the continent of Atlantis. And some say that the strange anomalies that happen around the Bermuda Triangle, where the magnetics go all awry and ships disappear and so forth, is a remnant of the ancient Atlantean technology of crystals that went awry.
That went awry? Oh, you don't say. So where the fuck is it? Is it down there? Can you find it? How about you go find it? These changes went all across the whole world, but they totally didn't, because there's no geological evidence of that of any kind. Yeah, again, the crystals, what is the mechanism? What is the mechanism by which crystals can power things or destabilize things? Talk to me about chemistry, magic crystal lady. Tell me anything about how crystals work. Tell me fucking anything about how crystals do fucking anything. Give it a shot.
The main stone Edgar Cayce mentioned in relation to Atlantis, he called trove. It was a white ray, opalescent, six-faceted stone which guided the activities generated from the temple in the Atlantis era. It is said that this temple was in the Atla, in the central...
I'm sorry, this chick... Oh my God, what was that room? I'm sure we'll come back to that. That's like... Oh my God, the set design right there. Whew, knocking him out of the park here. Yeah.
Circle of Atlantis. The light of this stone appeared as the means of communication between infinity and the finite, like the heaven and the earth.
Okay, so a crystal can glow like that? A crystal can just project a beam of light into space like that? Then fucking show me. Show me a crystal doing that. Like, how is anybody like, oh, crystals do all this shit? I mean, they don't, though, because, like, I got duped into buying a bunch of crystals, and they don't do anything like that. But also they do, because the documentary says so. So, how does the person who fall for this shit and buys a bunch of crystals, like, then what, right? They're like, I got him. Oh, shit, they don't do anything at all. They don't fire the lasers. They don't do the beams. They don't do super energy anything. They're just cool to look at, and that's it. So I got duped. Oh, well.
Or whereby they received communications with outside forces, which sounds to me like extraterrestrials.
Yeah, does it sound to you? Does something off of this Earth sound like extraterrestrials to you? Which is the definition of that word? Okay.
The trove stone acted as the central power station, radiating energies and guiding transportation systems of levitation, which would travel through air, on water, or under the water, just the same.
I mean, the confidence with which it makes me almost appreciate Graham Hancock, because at least he's vague as hell. At least he's like, well, maybe there was a thing, and I don't know. These guys are like, yep, Atlantis was a place. It had these obelisks, these crystal obelisks. They made you levitate. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like Avi Loeb, who's like, Three-Eye Atlas is an alien ship, and they're going to dispense probes. They're going to the other side. The probes are going to come to Earth. It's like, where the fuck are you getting this stuff? What are you talking about? It's insane.
It is said that before Atlantis sank, sages and initiates of the Atlantean mystery realized the fate of the civilization and departed to other lands, carrying with them the secret doctrines.
Throughout history, there has been this obsession with magical stones. You can find it in Eastern legends as well as Western legends. So for example, alchemy, they talk about the Philosopher's Stone, and the Philosopher's Stone was said to be able to instantly transform lead into gold. It represents the perfection of the great work of the process of transformation and transmutation. And
yeah, and that alchemy is a pseudoscience, or a pseudoscience, although you could be generous and call it a protoscience because chemistry developed from the interest of that, alchemy, brought forth. So you can't do that. We know what elements are now. You can't just transmute elements just by willpower. We know now that an element is defined by the number of protons in its nucleus. So the only way you're going to get one element to become another is by changing the number of protons in the nucleus, which we can do in particle accelerators and stuff like that. So we do actually transmute elements, right? You can turn hydrogen into helium by smashing protons together, right? So that is kind of like that. But you do it to a few atoms, right? It's an amount of matter that is completely negligible, right? It's not like you can do that to a macroscopic amount of matter. And it costs so much more money than whatever monetary value you would derive from the material that you're making. So alchemy is bullshit. It's we know that it is dumb and wrong now. That's not to, people of the time. If you lived 500 years ago, okay, you don't know. I mean, yeah, people are just trying to figure stuff out. That's why we call it a protoscience, because it was people trying to be empirical when we didn't yet know anything about chemistry. So, yeah, no hate on the alchemists. They were doing their best. But we know better now. So maybe try and catch up a little bit, take a look at a periodic table or something, learn some high school level chemistry, and stop spewing bullshit about alchemy.
And they thought that anyone who possessed this Philosopher's Stone would be able to heal all ailments, any sickness. They would have eternal life. They would be able to become immortalized and perfected like a god. So
yeah, how does turning lead into gold cure diseases? I don't know. I mean, if you the only thing it could be used for is maybe lead poisoning, but if you turn lead atoms in your body into gold, it's not going to be much better. That's also going to be quite toxic. You don't want a bunch of gold atoms in your system as well. Might be better than lead. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, probably a little better than lead, but definitely not super good thing to be having in your body there.
The Philosopher's Stone was highly sought after because people wanted eternal life, people wanted health, people wanted riches. And it was almost like that Midas touch. Whatever that Philosopher's Stone touched, it would instantly transform it and perfect it. So there's very many legends like this. The Philosopher's Stone is one example.
Other myths and legends talk about the Lemurians who escaped into the inner earth to restart their civilizations. The mythical city of Shambhala and the crystal city of Thomasis are both said to exist in giant caverns within Mother Earth. It is said there are hidden entrances, for example, under the Buceci's mountain in Romania, and portals to access the advanced transportation levitation vehicles, which...
I love that. That's like, they show like a fucking Stargate. It's like straight out of the Stargate movie. It is said that blah, blah, blah. It is said that this shit exists. Yeah, they're called fucking stories, man. Like Jules Verne, Journey to the Center of the Earth and stuff like that. It's a story, right? People don't write a story and then they're like, oh, and my story is real and there are portals and you can go to this magic underground city. That's like the thing with Gaia is just like, it's pretending stories are real. That's basically it. That's basically the entire thing that Gaia is. Is like, hey, here's this cool bullshit somebody made up. It's real. That's like that's the ethos of Gaia, is basically that.
Travel through tunnels and atmosphere generated by crystal technology and advanced knowledge. The Lemurian crystals were said to be programmed, hidden, and rematerialized into the earth to resurface for the right people who could attune to the sacred knowledge stored within them. Another reading by Edgar Cayce revealed that portions of the Temple of Atlantis may still be discovered off the coast of Bimini Island in the Caribbean Sea. In 1970, near the Bimini Island, Dr. Ray Brown, a physician and adventurer, was on an expedition searching for sunken Spanish galleon treasures. After a storm and big hurricane, he was scuba diving and he stumbled upon ruins and columns and saw the top of a pyramid protruding out of the sand.
Got any pictures of that? No, I didn't think so.
Inside the pyramid, he discovered a room which held a crystal sphere. The sphere in the center of the room was cradled in two metal hands on top of a pedestal column. And from the ceiling, a golden rod tipped with a red crystal pointed at the crystal ball.
Man, it would be just really great if we had any actual images or footage of this instead of this shitty CGI video. Man, I guess he just forgot to document anything. Ain't that a bitch?
Surrounding the crystal in a circle were 7 chairs, with one being higher than the rest. And on the wall was a falcon holding the sun in its talon, with 7 beings sitting on top of each wing. And on its breast were 14 gemstones in a 2-3-4-3-2 pattern. The one object Dr. Brown could retrieve was the crystal sphere, and demonstrates powerful, mysterious properties. When a metal rod is placed into the field of the crystal, at a certain angle, the rod would begin to float above it.
You want to show us that? Can you show where's the crystal ball or the magic sphere or whatever you're talking about? Did we get any pictures of that? Does anybody have it? Can we see it? Does anybody have any footage of this floating metal rod thing? Can you show us? No? Funny how that works, huh?
Many crystals actually have myths behind them. There's legends of where they came from. And so, for example, diamonds, right? Where did the diamonds come from? Well, the diamonds in an ancient Greek legend were said to have come from the god Kronos, the primordial god of time, who changed a young man who was named Adamus, and he transformed him into a very immensely strong stone. Now, the name Adamus actually means invincible. So it was thought that this stone that comes from Adamus, the diamond, brought the power of invincibility and almost like immortality. And so it was seen as potentially as an antidote even for poisons, because it would make the person who consumed it invincible or who wore the talisman of it. But it was also then where our whole tradition of getting the wedding ring of a diamond came from, was all the way back to this ancient Greek legend, where it said that the diamond had the power to reinforce the bond of love between two people so that it was invincible and indestructible.
Yeah, none of that. I mean, first of all, that's a bunch of cool stories. But also, diamonds don't do any of those things. They don't make you invincible. They're not an antidote to anything. So that should tip you off. But second of all, that's not like wasn't it with the wedding ring thing, just like De Beers and shit, just running a propaganda campaign. They were not propaganda, but it was an advertising campaign, let's say. They were just like, we have these fucking shiny diamond thingies. Let's pay a bunch of Hollywood starlets to like promote them as like the ultimate, status symbol or like glamour or glamorousness or whatever. And basically brainwashed everybody into thinking that like this is the height of opulence and men have to buy these for women and stuff like that. I don't know. I think I read something like that somewhere, but yeah. Anyway, diamonds are an allotrope of carbon. That's it. That's all it is.
The name of amethyst is derived from a Greek word meaning sober. There is a myth that in ancient times people would drink wine from goblets made of amethyst to be able to drink as much as they wanted without becoming intoxicated. In Chinese medicine, amethyst is used to clear heat in the blood. When we drink too much, one of the results is heat in the blood. And indeed, Chinese medicine does note the use of amethyst for acute alcohol poisoning. So maybe they didn't have amethyst goblets in ancient Greece. But who's to say they didn't put little amethyst points into their goblets, whatever they were made of? Why name the stone sober in the first place?
Emeralds also have really interesting myth or legend behind them, which relates to the emerald tablets of alchemy. Now, it is said that Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, was able to alchemically melt emerald into this liquid form.
So, alchemically melt it into a liquid form. How the fuck is that alchemy? You already said that alchemy is transmuting one element into another. Melting something is not transmutation. So you don't know what these words mean. Second of all, we're delving into Billy Carson territory with the emerald tablets, the fabricated emerald tablets. Yeah, these don't exist at all. So, I mean, not that that's a big surprise. None of this shit exists, but yeah.
And then the emerald tablets, the formula that he then transcribed, contained all the secrets on how to perform all the magical transformations and transmutations of the alchemical tradition, were then inscribed into this emerald. But rather than them being etched in as if you were scratching it into an emerald stone, they were actually protruding from the emerald tablet, which meant that the emerald had to have been melted into a mold, and then the mold was removed after the emerald solidified. And I just love the legend that is behind the labradorite. Now, this one comes to us from the native Canadian Inuit tribe. And it said that there was an Inuit warrior who was walking along, and he found that there was light that was trapped deep within the earth, within some stones. And to try and free this light, he took his spear and he pierced into the earth to pierce the stone, and he was able to free most of the light. And as that light escaped, it formed what we now know of as the beautiful aurora borealis, the northern lights. But some of that light remained trapped within the stone, and those fragments of light that remained trapped within the stone then formed the stone that we now call labradorite, which is...
Yeah, so... So he was allowing the light to escape. If the light wasn't escaping it, how the fuck did he see it in the first place? There's problem number one. Problem number two, we know what the fuck aurora borealis is. We know what that is. We know that that's high energy particles from the solar wind that get deflected by Earth's magnetic field to the poles and then enter the atmosphere there and start colliding with atmospheric particles, and then they scatter and create high energy collisions. So we know what that's from, and it's not from whatever the fuck you just said. So that should tip you off to the fact that nothing in the story is true, which, why the fuck would it be? It's an ancient legend. No ancient legends are true. None of them. So get on board.
Which is why the labradorite has so much of this rainbow color in it and looks very much like the northern lights. There's one myth about the Icelandic sunstone. It's in the Icelandic sagas, and it mentions that the Vikings used this sunstone to help them navigate the seas and locate where the sun was at, even on completely cloudy days. Now, since then, we've found enough information from their mythology pointing to a large, clear calcite stone crystal that they were able to hold up to the sky, and because it polarized the light, they were able to locate exactly where the sun was coming from, even if it was behind the clouds. So there's an example of one of these myths that has been verified.
Yeah, then it's not a myth, right? Then that's just a thing that happened. This is the problem here, is that, like, probably most of these stories are made up anyway. I don't know. I'm not a fucking expert in all the different mythologies of all the different cultures. I would bet that most of it is made up. But let's say it's not. Let's say all of them are real myths. Then by pretending that this shit is real at all or informs any of the properties of crystals, you're you're totally negating how fascinating the myths are in like a cultural context, in a sociological context, right? It's cool to learn about the mythologies of ancient cultures. It's cool to learn about Greek mythology and Babylonian mythology and Viking mythology, right? It's cool to like learn about these stories from an academic standpoint. And the moment you start to go, but they're real and crystals are magic, you just like completely deflate any of the relevance of any of it. Like you just suck up all of anything that could possibly be interesting about learning this stuff. You just destroy it immediately, right? It's like what people say with Avi Loeb, like, oh, he's making people interested in astronomy. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's pretending that a comet is aliens, and then everybody is like, yay, aliens, and they don't learn anything. They're just like, oh, it's aliens. It's like, okay, well, here's all this real science about like the orbit and the non-gravitational accelerations and the order in which the gases are subliming and everything like that. And they don't know that stuff. They couldn't care less. They couldn't care less about any of that stuff. They're just a thing in the sky is aliens. This story means magic crystals are real, right? There's no opportunity to actually learn something and grow as a person. Yeah.
Deeply interwoven with the origin myths of crystals are the mystical properties that come with them. Crystals have a long history of being used to foretell the future, to contact the dead, and to develop psychic abilities.
Yeah, they have a long history of definitely not doing any of those things ever.
Ancient tales point at the multidimensionality of crystals, where they can dematerialize and rematerialize at will, and be used to enter into altered states of consciousness and connect to higher beings.
Show me a crystal, first of all, at will, so the thing is sentient now. Show me a crystal dematerializing and materializing. I will shit my pants if you show me a crystal that vanishes and then reappears somewhere else. Show me that shit, and then I'll be like, oh my god, tell me some more about these fucking magic crystals. No, you can't show me that because that's never happened ever. That's what I thought.
So what is the spiritual function of crystals? Why are they here? And how can they be used to strengthen the connection between our physical and spiritual world?
Crystals are here for dumb white women to pretend that they have magic powers. That's what they're here for.
Nature spirits, also called devas, are the etheric counterparts or spirit essence of each living being. There's a general deva of the mineral kingdom, but there are also specific devas for, say, rose quartz or larimar. There are many distinct families of nature spirits coexisting in our reality in the ether, like living in parallel universes, where humans may not necessarily perceive them, for they exist at different frequencies. However, it is possible under proper conditions and with sensitivity to communicate with the elemental kingdom, especially when one is ready to invite them in by communicating with them or making offerings.
What is the elemental kingdom? There's elements all over the place. Is this the elemental kingdom? There's a bunch of elements around me. What was the other thing? Oh, the frequency. I mean, we're not going to get through one of these videos without using frequency incorrectly. I don't even remember what they said. I don't care.
Crystals are multidimensional and can shift into different dimensions. I've heard of and experienced crystals dematerializing and then coming back. They don't do that frequently, but they...
Of course they don't. You can't, like, I've seen it. Trust me, bro. I've seen it. You won't because, and also, you're not ready to see it, right? If you're skeptical, it won't do it for you. You have to believe. You have to believe that it can do it. And then maybe if you're super lucky, if you buy enough of them, right? If you buy 50 of them, if you collect the whole set, then maybe one of them will be kind enough to dematerialize and go to another dimension and then come back and materialize and tell you all of its secrets. But you gotta buy them all, okay?
But they can do it under the influence of higher beings to help train us.
Crystals have been used for divination since ancient times. For example, scrying. crystal balls. We've all heard of the psychics using crystal balls to foresee the future. There is actually something to this. But crystals, like for readings, for example, and for divination, we can work with one of the things that we teach in some of our classes in the mystery school, working with crystals, is to get twin crystals. What a twin crystal is two crystals that are almost identical and they come from the same source. They actually grow off of the same little seed, for example. And because just like twins, they have this sort of connection between them, almost like a psychic connection between them. They're entangled in some way. Energetically, they resonate with each other. So you could hold one crystal, one of the twins, and then you can give the other crystal to a person that is having a reading done for them. And this will help you then, through the crystal, it'll communicate to the crystal that you're holding. They're holding one, you're holding the other, and it'll help transmit some information in a more amplified signal to help you tune in to what it is that needs to be read for this person. So this is one way that divination can happen.
Yeah, totally. It can transmit information from one crystal to another, which is why nobody has ever demonstrated that ever and never will. Yeah, it's just so easy. Like, they do all these things. They do this, they do that, they do this. Fucking show me. Like, this is like James Randi would do this shit where it just like people would take these claims and be like, okay, demonstrate it in this controlled setting. Show us that it can do this thing. And they never can fucking do it. Not once. It was like $1 million prize or something, and nobody ever collected it because magic isn't real. Surprise, surprise, right?
On the subject of crystal balls, Western culture often thinks Native Americans had no technology. This is false. The difference being that our technologies were spiritual technologies. Some people called skywalkers could really fly. Others could teleport. We could build pyramids and skulls out of hard crystal stones. We could also make crystal balls.
Yeah, you can teleport, you can, what was the other thing? Fly. You don't feel like flying right now, though. You did too much flying yesterday. Your wings are tired. You don't feel like showing us that you can fly. But trust me, they flew and they teleported and they did all this magic shit, and that's technology. It's spiritual technology, which is an oxymoron. That doesn't mean anything. Cool story, bro.
It's important that people know how to work with the crystal balls, because if you gaze too long into a crystal ball, you can really harm your optic nerve. Crystal balls really need more purification than other stones. You will need to purify them often because you don't want them to hold any information. They have to be completely neutral. And then you want to find a place where there's a light reflecting into it. And then you gaze at that specific place and you diffuse your vision. And with time, you'll see mist. And in that mist, something will happen. Or maybe you'll see it in the ball. Everybody is different at that level. But in the beginning, you gaze 5 minutes. That's it. Then after a while, you can go 10 minutes, then 20 minutes. You want to stop at 20 minutes because you can really harm your optic nerve.
Crystals have historically been used to develop psychic abilities. For example, through black obsidian mirrors, although technically obsidian is not a crystal but a glass, which has been used since ancient times by the Mayan peoples, and I'm sure other ancient earth-based cultures, to access one's shadow self, their feminine or masculine sides, or other parallel or past life selves, as they practiced scrying and journeying into the black obsidian mirror by candlelight. We can also use double terminated crystals with a partner, each holding a double terminated crystal, to practice telepathy and sending and receiving information.
Another important stone for your personal development are Herkimer diamond crystals for dream work. Actually, they come from the region of Herkimer in New York State, and they're not diamonds. They're clear quartz crystals with the particularity that they have bitermination. You see, they have 2 points. You travel through that. It's like a vortex through which you travel to be able to do out-of-body experiences. So what you happen to experience when you start working with a proper prepared Herkimer is that it will accompany you in the dream world. You know, it will travel with you. It'll protect you. It's clear light. Quartz crystals are clear light. And so they protect you from everything that's dark.
Crystals can be such important allies for us as humans because they have so many gifts and so much support that they can bring into our lives, whether it's for healing, for helping us raise our consciousness, for becoming more in tune with the kingdom of nature. And
What does raise your consciousness mean? Can anybody explain this to me? What does raise your consciousness mean? Can you explain that in terms of neuroanatomy or neurochemistry, neurotransmitters? Can you give me something tangible, something quantifiable that explains what raise your consciousness means? I'm not going to hold my breath, just saying.
And the mineral kingdom and Mother Earth, or whether it's for opening up our psychic abilities and dreaming, creating more sacred space, anchoring sacred geometry, all of these things. There's so many amazing things that crystals can bring into our lives. So make them your ally, get to know them, build a relationship with them, and let them go to work for you.
It's important to understand the spiritual function and purpose of the mineral kingdom. That is, to hold important information and transmit important information. The crystals were placed here at the beginning of the creation of the planet to transmit the fundamental primordial laws of the universe and to hold them there.
Okay, I didn't know that these crystal bullshitters were, well, this is all, yeah. If you're going by ancient mythology, obviously there's going to be a creation myth, but yeah, is that a prerequisite? Do you have to be a creationist in order to believe that that crystals are magic? I guess if you're a young Earth creationist, then this shit isn't a stretch, right? This is just par for the course.
And that's why they are so important, because they can hold them for millennia upon millennia upon millennia. And they hold the basic, pure information of the universe. As we purify ourselves and we work on our spiritual mission in life, we become more and more evolved. And if we do that, we become more and more beautiful in everything we do. And that's what we call the beauty way. And the crystals, they are reminding us of that because they are beauty. They have beautiful form. And they're all different. Crystals are there to show us, look, if you evolve, you become beautiful. And so we learn to walk on the beauty way, and the crystals are there to remind us of this. And so, as such, they are
yeah, see, like, you can do that. You can go, like, if somebody likes crystals because they're pretty, and they like to buy a bunch of crystals and have them around because they're pretty, and they even go, oh, this is like, has an aesthetic quality that inspires me to try to be more beautiful or behave more beautifully or more whatever the hell, sure, go for it, right? That's totally fine. But then on top of that, you got to do the magic bullshit. And this thing can make me fly. And this thing can make me predict the future. No, it fucking can't. Just do that. Just go, oh, it's pretty. Just, oh... Here are some minerals. You've got these ionic solids. They've got cations and anions that form these particular lattices so that they can maximize electrostatic interactions between the cations and the anions. And because you have transition metals in there, sometimes you have different elements. The electronic transitions that are exhibited give off these really wonderful, dazzling colors. They look cool. Crystals look cool. That's the end of it. It's just they look cool, and that can make me feel a feeling because of how cool they look. That's it. Anything else above that is fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, Luke Bald Eagle, or whatever the fuck your name was.
They are precious friends.
From foundation myths and cosmic origins to ancient crystal technology gone awry and mythical subterranean kingdoms to magical gems, crystals seem to be a common and primordial motif in many legends from across the world. The esoteric power embedded in crystals has been utilized for eons by shamans and initiates across the globe to bridge the physical and spiritual worlds. As these precious stones fall back into our hands, may they inspire us to bring forth the light, the brilliance and lucidity within ourselves as we refine our own crystalline natures. May we treasure their gifts and make them our allies in our conscious evolution, so we can co-create a more beautiful, harmonious, and luminous world.
Fuck me, I gotta get some goddamn crystals. Yeah, crystal myths, mysticism, and divination. Look, I don't know. Yeah, I already said it. Crystals, they look cool, and that's the end of the story. Sorry. Okay, so what do we got next? Next up, we have, what are the soul agreements we make with our pets? This is a short one. This is only about 5 minutes, but it sounds like it's going to be some basic bitches talking about their pets and how their souls are intertwined or some dumb shit like that. So this should be good.
Our souls line up agreements between us and our animals. These things are preconceived. Sometimes we'll reincarnate, the same animals will incarnate with us several times because we're so familiar with them, which is amazing. We'll recognize them just like with people. And so we will embark upon these agreements that we have with animals to help us grow, learn, heal, evolve, depending on what we're needing on our evolutionary journey. And
this is just like peak basic bitch narcissism is just like this, like your pet likes you because you fucking feed it. Like you're the master person that gives it food. That's why your pet loves you. It's not because it recognizes you from a past life where you had this unbelievable, unspeakable cosmic connection. It's a fucking animal and you feed it food. That's why it loves you. And so, like, this goes actually perfectly with the crystal thing, because you have these basic idiots. I'm not trying to. You all know I'm not misogynistic, but obviously this is more women are like this than men. There are men that are like this too. But if you're a basic idiot and you're so narcissistic that you actually literally think that you have magic powers, right? I have healing powers. I have premonitions. I'm psychic. I can do all these cool things. I'm just operating on another vibration, higher consciousness, frequency, mode thingy. I'm just way much more specialer than you. I'm so super awesome. That's called fucking narcissism. And the same kind of person that is that narcissistic also thinks that they have this cosmic spiritual connection with an animal, right? They're just like, I'm so special. That's why this animal loves me so much, because I'm so in tune with the animal world and I'm super duper so awesome. No, you're just a codependent asshole. You're just somebody that is so fixated with themselves that they need a living organism around that is constantly showering them with affection so that they can feel like they are as special as they want to believe they are on a moment-to-moment basis. That's what it is. So you have a person like this that thinks they have magic powers and then happens to have an intellectually inferior creature around them all the time, usually a dog, that often small enough to fit in a handbag so they can bring them everywhere and feel this ego boost everywhere they go. And then they have a living organism that thinks that they're a god, the greatest thing ever, the way that they perceive themselves. That's all it is. So, yeah, you're both idiots and you're both narcissists, or you're con men, con women, or you're grifters, right? Or you're just fleecing people. But if you believe any of this shit, you're just narcissists. I'm sorry. Get over yourselves. You're not special. None of us have magic powers. I'm sorry.
And animals will help us direct ourselves in the journey that we want to evolve to. They're evolving as well, of course, but we really line up these things in advance.
Give me some examples of what you've seen with some of your clients in terms of soul contracts. I love these stories.
Yes.
And because we always think that we're in control, right? And, well, I think it's time to get a cat. And that's the end of the story, so you're going to go somewhere and find a cute cat.
Right.
That is the end of the fucking story. You go, I'm gonna get a pet now, and you go to the place and you get a pet. I'm sorry, are you implying that some mystical force came over me and convinced me I need to go to this place, and it was guiding me? It guided me towards my pet soulmate, which is literally any animal that I buy or rescue and then will feed and offer shelter and protection to. Yeah.
But let's talk about what's really going on.
Right. People think they're just getting this pet and they're just going to have this unconditional love and they're going to be able to go on walks with them and, oh, they're helping them exercise. But there's a lot more going on under the surface and at a soul level for your growth. And the more open you are to that, then the more soul contracts are going to start revealing themselves, the higher purpose of your arrangement as to why you came together to learn and grow together. It's truly extraordinary what animals are willing to do with us.
So tell us a couple examples of people and their pets you've read, what they thought was happening versus what was actually happening.
Well, I'll start with something more simplistic. Early when I started working with animals a bit, and like so much...
I'm sorry, it's so funny. It's just exactly what I said. They're just like, oh my God, I can't even fucking handle it. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Much of the time, people will call and want to fix their animal. My animal's doing this. Will you help them stop doing this? Or tell them I don't want them to jump
Bad
on the
kitty.
sofa. Right. Can you fix them? And I remember one call in particular of a woman who just called and she said, I have this dog and he's jumping and he's jumping and he's jumping and he's jumping and I can't get him to stop jumping and I just don't know what to do. And she's going on and on and on. And
Have you tried astral projecting together? Have you tried wearing a crown of crystals and having a spiritual something, or have you tried going into another dimension with your? Have you tried shapeshift? Have you tried a Freaky Friday? Did you Freaky Friday with your pet? Did you swap it and go into each other, and then you can see from each other's perspective, and then you won't care that he jumps on the couch because you'll be the same person. You'll be like one organism in your special soul contract, and then you won't care about jumping on the couch because it'll be you jumping on the couch. Did you try that? Have you tried that?
Her voice is jumping and jumping and jumping. And I started working with the dog, and the dog immediately calmed and got grounded and was fine, but her energy didn't change. She stayed in this very ungrounded state where she was very jumpy herself. And so then she called a week later. She goes, well, it didn't stick. And I said, well, how can we look at this differently? How about, do you meditate? Well, I'm open to meditate. Well, can you meditate together maybe? And when you go walking, can you more intentionally see yourself grounding?
It's what I say. Like I keep joking, and then they say the thing that I am joking about. Have you tried meditating with your fucking with your poodle? Have you tried? Have you done ayahuasca with your dog? Maybe you guys should go to Mexico and do ayahuasca together. Maybe that would help you guys have a soul contract bond thingy. Think about it.
Because your dog is picking up on everything that you're doing. And that little leash is a little energetic umbilical cord between the two of you. So she said, I'll try. And she began trying that. And then I didn't hear from her for a long time. And sometimes that's good news and sometimes not. But 6 months later, I started getting a lot of referrals from her. And she said, that was the ticket. And that's when I realized that when the person's on board, that's when the animal change. And that's when it's more sustainable. That's when it's going to stick, what you're wanting for your animal. Same with the ailments. And so much of the time, Regina, I see people become aware of a conscious journey because of something that they're doing for their animal. They may not be aware yet. They may not be on a conscious journey, but then in order to fix their animal, they tried an animal communicator. They tried herbs. They tried things that started to open their minds to something different. And because of that, the animal said, yeah, high five. She's doing it now, or he's doing it now. and they started learning about consciousness and what they could do for themselves. But when they begin a conscious journey together, that's when it gets juicy. That's why I love doing what I do.
Oh, I can imagine. What gratifying work. Well, let's talk about maybe a story.
What gratifying work. It's like you're a fucking doctor curing cancer and shit. It's such this is where we're at with human civilization. We used to all toil in the fields and have back-breaking labor just to survive. And we've gotten to this point where, you know, I'm not complaining. It's pretty great. Not like I mean, I think that what I do is somewhat important, but I have a very cushy life. I'm not, you know, I live in my house and I eat whatever I want and lie on the couch and watch TV and all. I don't do manual labor, not a fucking lick of it. But where we're at is that some people like this, this is this is what this woman does, is sit around and pretend that she's facilitating spiritual connections between a narcissistic person and their pet. Like, that's it. Like, oh my God, that's very depressing that encapsulates the existence of a human being. Yeah, I don't know. I can't relate to that.
Story of abandonment, because I look at people are picking their dogs up at the pound or at SPCA oftentimes. And so you know that there might be issues there.
Yeah, so abandonment is one of those issues where, of course, it's easy to recognize within the animal because a lot of times they've been adopted and returned. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have separation anxiety. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're overeating. They use oral fixations, carry around a toy, overlick, all kinds of things that are really predictable. Sometimes the person's not quite as aware of their heavy abandonment wounds until they get together. And regardless of whether or not the animal has abandonment before you adopt them, if you're the one they land with, I promise you've got abandonment wounding.
Yeah, if you choose at random a dog that happens to have abandonment issues, it means that you have them too. Surprise, surprise. That's how that works. All right, I knew that was going to be fucking idiotic just from the title. So, yeah. Okay, what do we have here? Next up, we have sound and vibration, the universal key to consciousness and creation. Sounds pretty heady. I think we're gonna learn some stuff here. We got the Flower of Life. We got some Terrence Howard shit. I wonder if Terrence Howard has a subscription to Gaia and just like that's where all of this came from. It's not a stretch.
Many philosophers and scientists throughout the ages agree about one universal constant, the key that connects everyone and everything, from the microscopic to the massive, is sound and vibration.
Funny how you went all the way out into space to say that it's all about sound when there's no fucking sound in space. Pretty good. Great start.
Nada Brahma is a term from the East, and it means the universe is sound, or the sound of Brahma, the all-creator.
I'm sorry, there's no way that woman is a molecular biologist. I call bullshit.
Within which we live and move and have our being.
There's a harmonic relationship ringing of all the spheres in space, from the very small to the very big. So think of all the protons ringing and all the electrons ringing.
Yeah, what? The protons are ringing? No, they're not. The electrons are ringing? No, they're not. I don't think you know what sound is, dude.
And all the planets ringing. And all the solar systems ringing, all the stars ringing, right? In a galaxy.
Yeah, again, there's no sound in space. This is how we know that you don't know what sound is. Sound is perturbations in these are mechanical waves, right? They're, like, sound travels best. Usually just in air, in the atmosphere. It can also be transmitted through solids. Like you can bang a metal pipe or something, or girder or something, a steel girder or something, and that will transmit sound. But and underwater, you can have sound underwater too. But this is a wave. It's a perturbation of material. You need a medium of some kind. You need in the vacuum of space, there is no wave of matter that can be occurring. So there's no fucking sound in space. So the planets aren't making sounds. The galaxy isn't making sounds. That doesn't fucking mean anything. None of this shit means anything. As always with Gaia, none of this shit means anything.
And then the galaxies ringing in the supercluster. When we get to the universe, you can imagine we're many octaves past the proton, many. So clearly, we live in the music of the spheres.
Clearly, who could say anything otherwise? Who could argue with this very clear bullshit I pulled out of my ass? And they all, like, octaves. It's always octaves. Why do they love this word so much? It doesn't fucking apply. It doesn't mean anything here. Stop. I hate when they abuse musical terminology. It really bothers me.
The music of the spheres is a really interesting concept that supposedly the ancient mystics, such as Pythagoras and even Kepler, the astronomer, were said to have understood, that they were able to hear the sounds of the...
No, that shit does not mean sound at all. Kepler believed that the orbital radii of the planets had to obey some kind of predetermined ratio, right? He thought that... So this is when we were figuring out heliocentrism, right? You had Copernicus, and then you had Kepler and Brahe, and then you had Galileo, and we were figuring out that heliocentrism is true. And at first, it was thought by some people like Kepler, who admittedly was a little bit, I don't even want to say out there spiritual. This was 500 years ago, so long ago. Fine, he thought maybe that you'd have the sun, and then you'd have the planets, and that the orbital radii of these planets would have some special divine ratio, the same way that you can have a particular numerical ratio in terms of, like, notes that are forming intervals. Like, yes, that's true. An octave is 2 to 1, and then you can have a fifth is 3 to 2, and then a fourth is 4 to 3, and then a major third, and then a minor third, right? These are integer ratios of frequencies. That's true, and that's why they're consonant to our ears. He thought the planets have got to be like that too, because God made the music sound good, and God made the planets do this thing. As it turned out, no, they fucking aren't. They're just in random places, because solar systems form and you have all of this material in a protoplanetary disk, and it's just fucking random how the material coalesces at particular orbital distances to form planets and other objects. It's just random. And I'm pretty sure that once they figured it out, I think Kepler himself was like, oh, well, okay, never mind. That wasn't a thing. I don't know. Look it up. Maybe I don't know if he died still believing that or not. But it wasn't sounds. It wasn't that the planets make fucking sounds. So when you're bringing up Kepler and you're botching it this badly, you sound like a fucking idiot. It has nothing to do with sound. Planets don't make sounds. You don't know what sound means.
Planets.
This is not literal sound. This is some kind of electromagnetic radiation, some kind of information that is collected by a detector and translated into sound. It's not literal sound. It's not like you can go up in space and go like this and go, oh, the sun is going, I can hear it. That's the sound that's coming from there. What is Saturn doing? Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a cool sound too. There's no fucking sound in space, goddammit.
The mystics interpreted this musical composition as a mathematical masterpiece.
If you continually double frequencies, you can move from dense physical matter, which you could strike with a hammer and get resonance like Pythagoras did with the anvil. And you could then extrapolate. Doubling that frequency, I'm going to get this sound. I'm going to get that sound. I'm going to get that sound. Oh, I'm no longer getting sound. At this point, I'm getting ultrasound. And then it's going to move into infrasound. And then it's going to move into something where you can see it instead of hear it.
No, you won't, because light and sound are different things. Just because you're moving into a frequency of sound that our ears cannot perceive doesn't mean it's turning into light that you can see. You fucking idiot. That's really cool that you have a guitar and you can play octaves on your guitar. It has fucking nothing to do with any of this shit. God damn it.
The law of octaves is simply doubling the frequency.
That's not a law. It's not a law. You're just describing what an octave is. That doesn't make it a law.
Now, whether or not we can hear this sound is different, because our hearing ranges from around 16 of these vibrations, these cycles per second, to around 16,000. But our friends in the ocean, the dolphins, can hear upwards of 180,000 cycles a second and project frequencies at that level.
What we perceive depends on the pitch.
If we want to study,
I love how they're trying to illustrate the concept of sounds that we can't hear by showing a bunch of shit that we can hear. They're like, there's things that we can't hear. Like, here's some birds that we can hear. So there's things that we can't hear. Like, what the fuck?
the high-pitched sounds of bats or whales. Or the low-pitched sounds of planets in the solar system.
Radio waves. Radio waves are electromagnetic radiation, which is not sound. It's being translated into sound. It's not sound. There's no sound in space. Saturn doesn't sound like anything. You're an idiot.
In order to do that, we can either raise or lower that sound by octaves. In other words, this is a doubling of the sound. And then you could hear it with your physical ears.
Yeah, if you're doubling the frequency, you're going to a higher octave, which means you can't. Oh, what radio waves they're saying is low frequency, so they're trying to bring it up to. So yeah, light isn't sound. Sorry, still.
In the study of whale sounds, to lower them an octave, you can then actually hear them and have an experience of them, whereas before you wouldn't hear them at all. The whales hear them, but we wouldn't hear them.
They are able to communicate and probably instill great information with sounds that we can't hear. So just because you can't hear it.
Yeah, we can hear whales. I don't know what you're talking about. We can hear whale sounds. None of that means that planets make sounds. Sorry.
Doesn't mean that there isn't a sound being created. And that includes the music of the spheres.
recent years, NASA engineers recognized solar winds striking the ionosphere, creating vibrations that can be modified to be within the range of human hearing.
Scientists think, well, there's no sound in space because it's a vacuum. Well, then how come there's human range vibrations in space in every single planet? Why is that there?
There isn't, because that doesn't fucking mean anything. What is a human range vibration, and what the fuck is vibrating in space, in the vacuum of space, like you just said? What are you talking about? You're a moron.
So NASA says, well, we don't know the answer to this question, so let's send Voyager through that ion field and record it and see what we get.
If you go on the...
Okay, that one could be, right? If it's going through Titan's atmosphere, then that could be sound. It could be, yeah, it could be atmospheric particles striking the detector or whatever. I mean, I don't even know if that's real. I don't know if it would be equipped with something capable of detecting sounds, because why would it? It's most of what it's doing is going through, but maybe it was, I don't know. But so that could be sound, but that's because you're going into the atmosphere of the moon, of Titan, right? That's different.
On the NASA site, you can actually download the soundtrack of the sound of our sun. The sound of our planets, like Jupiter. And Saturn.
You put headphones on and you hear sort of an electronic wind with these breathy choirs of voices.
These are so clearly just like shitty laser sound effects from like sci-fi sound effect packs or something, and they're just like, look at all these planets and look at this dumb fucking sound I overlaid on top of this graphic. That's what the planets sound like. God damn it.
Coming in and out from Miranda. Or the moon of Jupiter, Io, sounds like crickets and dolphins and birds. Wind.
That's not Io, that's Europa. You people are fucking idiots. You can't even show Io? It's Europa. God damn it.
It's like, oh my God. And it has this effect on you.
Physics allows us to better understand this cosmic soundtrack.
No, it doesn't. If you understand physics, you know that this is bullshit. You guys should learn physics so that you stop saying things that are this dumb.
All these things are giving you a sense, and certainly that was the sense that Kepler got, that there's a harmonic relationship ringing of all the spheres in space. The structure of space is not only oscillating, but it is circulating. It has movement. It produces angular momentum. Think of it as a fluid that's circulating.
It's not a fluid. It has angular momentum. Think of it as a fluid. I like to say random words to sound smart. God damn it.
There's circulation outward, and there's inward circulation.
If we listen closely, we can discover how these waves of sounds across the spectrum create recognizable patterns.
Human voices, when you speed them up enough, they sound like birds. You speed them up, they sound like crickets. You speed them up, they sound like dolphins. You slow crickets down, they sound like birds. You slow birds down, they sound like dolphins. You slow dolphin down, so they sound like people singing. It's like fractal reflections of the hologram of the universe that reflect boundless into the galaxies and the universe as a whole with patterns that are reflected in my brain networks, that are reflected in the quantum field.
How is it?
Gotta throw the word quantum in there, right? It's a fractal in the quantum field. My name is Terrence Howard, everybody.
That we interpret or give meaning to these fractal reflections?
The holographic principle.
It's not a fractal just because you slow down a dolphin and it sounds like something else. That doesn't make it a fractal. Learn what a fractal is.
As described in current black hole theory, says that information is encoded holographically on the surface of the black hole. Everything you see is the result, or everything you experience, including your own body, is the result of this holographic nature of space itself. How you experience the world, how you feed information back to the world, is by actually interacting in this holographic nature of reality. You are feeding information on surfaces across the universe, and the universe is feeding you back information in terms of your local experience through this holographic nature.
The Hermetic principle, as above, so below, is another way to express this holographic reality.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. If I say holographic enough times, will you think that I sound smart? This is just like all the theme. Like anybody who genuinely watches Gaia is a narcissist. Like you are definitely a delusional narcissist. Like somebody that watches this video that we just watched, like in earnest, and is like, oh wow, like you're a narcissist that is trying to that wants supreme knowledge, but is so fucking lazy and willfully ignorant that they're not like, oh, let me learn basic physics. Of course not. That takes fucking effort. That takes a modicum of effort that you have to apply yourself and like actually learn something. They're like, no, I want the supreme knowledge of the cosmos. I want to be the wisest being on the earth without actually applying any effort whatsoever. So I'm going to watch this video that's 10 minutes long and tells me that I understand reality better than all those dumb scientists. And now I'm the wisest being on earth, which I already knew. I already knew I was the wisest being in human history, but now I really know because I can talk about holographic blah, 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 whatever the fuck, and as above, so below, right? We hear sounds down here, so there's sounds in space. As above, so below. It's just like the kind, like if you have someone in your life, if you go on a date with someone and they're like, oh, Gaia is so cool, fucking run away. This person is awful. They're an awful people who watch Gaia in earnest are fucking awful people. They're definitely narcissists, which means they could be borderline sociopathic. If you are able to convince yourself that you're supremely wise without lifting a finger to learn anything, that means you're just a shitty person who will do shitty things and convince yourself that you aren't shitty because you're the best person in the world. So you just, like, people who watch Gaia are the kind of people who just gaslight the shit out of their significant other, right? They just like, oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you suck. You're a shit person. This is all happening to you because you made it happen. Yeah, don't involve yourself with anybody who watches this crap. Okay, all right. We've got this one's 13 minutes. This one's 4 minutes. That's good. This one's okay. Yeah, we can do these other three. I don't want to go too much. Yeah, we'll go a little. Okay, we can do these three. All right, this one is 13 minutes. This is called Merkaba activation, sacred geometry, astral body, and star tetrahedron. We got some good shapes here. We got some Terrence Howard shit. Let's check it out.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Robert J. Gilbert. In this episode, we will continue our exploration of hidden sacred geometry patterns with the six-pointed star form of the first level of our consciousness, which in the Western tradition is called the astral body. So while our etheric life body manifests in space as the five-pointed form of a star or a pentagram, the astral body of consciousness has as one of its forms the hexagram in 3 dimensions, which is...
You already lost me. What the fuck are you talking about? Our body, obviously, when it astral projects into the ethereal blah blah blah, is a five-pointed star, duh. But then it does this other thing, and it's just, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, like, there's no attempt to ground any of these claims in anything even remotely resembling reality. It's just like, here's some shit I made up, and it's true because I say so. Duh. If you can't see that, then like you're an idiot or something. It's just, I can't. How the fuck does anybody listen to this shit? I can't believe it.
It's known technically as the stellated octahedron, or more popularly, as the star tetrahedron. Let's take a look at some of the sacred geometry secrets behind this form of our soul body, the astral body of consciousness. This journey into secrets of the Merkaba, our activated body of soul travel, will take us into core sacred geometry blueprints from the mind of God.
Yeah, they put a little dude in there, so that is how you know that, like, when you astral project, your little spirit dude is in the shape here, which also isn't the shape that we were just looking at. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the view counts here. Luckily, this is 35K views, not that much. I feel like maybe Gaia is like not as popular as it was before. I don't really know. I've never like checked their view counts or anything. I'm actually kind of surprised they only have 1.82 million subscribers. I'm more than twice as big as Gaia, you guys. This is pretty cool. All right, let's check it out.
In the esoteric tradition, each of the 4 elements is a manifestation of the primary subtle body levels. Earth equals our physical body. Water equals our etheric body of life force. Air equals our soul or astral body of consciousness. And fire equals our spirit core. So from the hidden temple teachings,
I mean, like, what do you even say to that? What do you even say? The pyramid represents the astral consciousness of the air, and the square is from the other. Like, it's like you're literally making shit up and asserting it as just like, well, obviously. Like, there's no attempt to tether it to anything in physical reality whatsoever. It's crazy.
The octahedron is the form which completes and encloses the cubical cross by connecting the ends of the 3 axes of physical space, whereas the cube encloses the cubical cross of physical space by creating a wall at the end of each axis. As we have seen, this makes the black cube of space, the divine thought form behind the container of the physical world for spirits to incarnate into. So the
spirits incarnate into a cube, right? There's a cube. These are shapes that exist. Therefore, spirits incarnate into them, obviously.
Octahedron is the opposite polarity to the black cube container of the physical body.
Don't say polarity. That's a real word that has a real meaning. If you learned any chemistry, you'd know what polarity means. Stop saying polarity, please.
It is the astral body of consciousness within the physical. This is the sacred geometry from the mind of God, of how our soul life is hidden within our physical body, we need to remember that in the hidden temple teachings, the term astral comes from the root aster, meaning a star. A star is a point of light in the darkness. So the next part of the deeper Merkaba teaching.
Is a star a point of light? I don't think it's a point. Again, a point is a word that means something in geometry. Points are dimensionless. Stars are not dimensionless, so they're not points. Let's be very deliberate with our language here, sir.
Is that many fundamental sacred geometry forms can be turned into a star form, a process called stellation. The basic geometric solid form is a vessel, a container, whereas the star form radiates outward like a sun, rather than containing. You will recall that when we do the zero-point centering process, we move all of our energy and attention dynamically into the center of the center of the center.
The center of the center of the center. That means something. And we're doing our 0 point, whatever the fuck. I love picturing Terrence Howard just like furiously masturbating to this video. Just like, oh, I'm getting all the knowledge. I'm the smartest person ever.
Of an energetic location in our body, in order to connect to the divine center of that location and thereby activate it. Once we have activated that center, then the radiance process begins. The activated center streams out energy and light in all directions like a sun. This is the master method to activate any energy center in our body.
Totally. Haven't you ever been at a party and all of a sudden someone's just standing there and fucking light comes out of their face and their head like this, and you're like, oh, they're activating the Merkaba, whatever the fuck. Totally. It happens. I live in LA, so it happens all the time, right? Fucking once a week I see this shit. The orb of light coming out of the face like this. It's common. It's not even exciting anymore.
It's a key technique for advanced spiritual practices. In pure sacred geometry archetypes from the mind of God, a solid form like a platonic solid can turn into a star through a similar process.
Yeah, a process where you take a shape and you draw a star around it. It turned into a star. Unbelievable.
Energy on every face of the form streams into the center of that face, activating that center and raising it vertically above the face. Lines of energy then connect that raised center to the baselines of that face. The octahedron of the air and astral consciousness stellates by taking the divine center of each face and moving it straight upward, then connecting it to the triangle of each face, thus making the stellated octahedron. This also means that the connection of the raised central point to the triangular base makes a tetrahedron on each face of the octahedron. These 8 tetrahedrons, one on each of the 8 faces of the octahedron, then remarkably give the appearance of the entire form, now being 2 interpenetrating tetrahedra. This is the reason for the alternative name for the stellated octahedron being the star tetrahedron, a name popularized by Leonardo da Vinci. So the activation of the octahedron into a radiant star form creates the stellated octahedron, which could also be seen as a star tetrahedron. Both perspectives are accurate. Each one is a different facet of the jewel of this exquisite spiritual form from the mind of God.
Shapes are cool, so they're magic, and when you meditate or whatever the shit, you are magic and you're floating in the shape, because that's the thing that happens.
From the second perspective of adding the tetrahedrons onto each face, and thereby turning the entire form of the octahedron into what appears to be a double tetrahedron, it is important to note that the tetrahedron is the form for fire. Fire is the element connected to our spirit core.
Why is the tetrahedron the form for fire? Because you made a tetrahedron and you set it on fire? Why can't some other shape be fire? Why is that shape fire? Can you explain to me, in some way that makes an ounce of sense, why that shape has to be fire? And don't just show me the shape on fire. I need an explanation, please.
Our divine spark from the ocean of fire of the Godhead, which gets activated above our heads during higher initiation. So what does this all mean? It means that the Merkaba activation of our subtle bodies allows them to become divine vehicles for us to move through higher worlds, which is one of the greatest attainments of spiritual development and a great ancient secret of initiation. This activation of the Merkaba is based on the activation of our consciousness, the astral body of the octahedron, through applying the tetrahedron of spiritual fire. This brings us to another great hidden sacred geometry secret of our activated soul body, the star tetrahedron, that it is formed within the incubator of the black cube of physical incarnation, which unfolds into the cross of our physical body. This means that it is through our difficult experiences of incarnation in the physical body, in a physical world.
You just can't help yourself. You unfold the cube, and then you gotta show the artwork of the Tesseract, right? Who was that, Dali, or who did the because how are we gonna bring this up into some turn it into fucking Christ mythology imagery, right? Let's just add that layer on it. Let's dazzle your psyche with this imagery. Fucking unreal, man.
That our activated soul body of the star tetrahedron gestates into its perfected form, like a caterpillar in a cocoon becoming the butterfly. The star tetrahedron of our activated soul body is thus the fruit of our earthly physical incarnation, which, although often challenging and painful, is nonetheless essential for humanity's spiritual flowering. When the cube of space is unfolded into the cross of our physical body, the star tetrahedron of our activated consciousness is revealed.
When you open up a cube, this shape is there. If I put the shape there on purpose, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This black cube is the matrix in which our perfected consciousness, our star tetrahedron soul body, gestates in the cocoon of the physical body until we are ready for full spiritual initiation and Merkaba activation. This is the mystery of the Rosicrucian symbol of the black cross of the physical body giving rise to the 7 red roses of our activated chakras. Only through accepting the density and suffering of physical incarnation can we develop the red roses and develop the star tetrahedron of our Merkaba soul vehicle. There is also a hidden, complementary mystery to the generation of our activated soul body within the cube and the cross of our physical body. This secret is that it is our activated astral body which provides a deeper structural support for the physical body itself. The star tetrahedron is the strength of our soul, which keeps our physical body from collapsing from all the stresses of our physical life. This is shown in the work of Buckminster Fuller. He demonstrated that a hollow cube is very unstable and collapses unless it is bracketed internally by the tetrahedron and octahedron triangular forms. Only these triangular forms have rigidity and internal strength. Without this internal bracketing, hollow cube forms made with soft corners will immediately collapse, whereas hollow tetrahedra with octahedra create unbreakable structures. This is also the key to Bucky Fuller's development of the geodesic dome.
Bucky Fuller? It's Buckminster Fuller. Okay, this is like what I said before, like with, what was the other thing where I know I likened it to the Avi Loeb thing. Oh, like the mythology, like mythology is interesting. So when you cite mythology, but you pretend it's real, you rob it of like the significance, right? Same here. Shapes are cool. Yeah, man, shapes are dope, and you can make cool shapes, and you can be inspired by the shapes. You can grow as a person from looking at shapes. That's true. But when you turn it into the tetrahedron of the thing is the soul of the what the fuck are you talking about? Where Where is it? Where is it in me? Show me where my shapes are. Can you show me? Is it here? Is it where is it? Is it up here? I can't find it. Can you help me find it, please? Help me find the magic shapes in my body and my soul. Oh, super wise man. You're taking shapes that are cool and making them not cool by ruining them with your fucking gibberish. You suck.
As the strongest possible form, made with the minimum of materials through using the triangular truss system. So we have just seen some of the hidden secrets from the mind of God related to the activation of the human soul within the Merkaba process. This shows how our physical existence is essential to the activation of the soul body, the star tetrahedron. Like so many sacred geometry mysteries, hints of these divine secrets are given in classical text and illustrations. The star tetrahedron is usually shown in classical illustrations simply as a six-pointed star, a hexagram, as seen here in this Indian yantra of Ganesh. Note that this shows the upper horizontal line of the star tetrahedron at the level of the shoulders and the lower horizontal line at the level of the knees. This is embedded initiation knowledge regarding where the lines of the star tetrahedron actually appear on the human body. This exact information on where the upper and lower horizontal lines appear on the body was also given in the Western tradition by Rudolf Steiner in 1907, when he revealed the secret of the five-pointed star and six-pointed star tetrahedron, forms of the human etheric and astral bodies. Tradition.
Shapes are cool, and ancient myths are cool. Therefore, all of the bullshit I'm saying must be true because I'm referencing shapes and stories. That's this whole video could be 20 seconds long.
Traditions all over the world use these pentagram and hexagram patterns in practices to create health, to prolong life, and to protect the energy field. Also to provide wealth and to connect to higher beings and spiritual realities. Our Merkaba subtle body vehicles are only one part of the sacred geometry of our energy fields, which allow us to incarnate on Earth. For a spirit to incarnate into a human body, there's an intricate further process of creating the physical and subtle bodies. In Sanskrit, our bodies are known as koshas, meaning sheaths or vehicles, for the spirit to incarnate on each plane of existence. For example, the Annamaya kosha means literally the sheath made of food. This is our physical body, which is created out of the substance of the physical food our mother eats while we're in the womb, and then the physical food that we eat after our birth. In other words, our physical body is based on forming physical substance through the consciousness and energy grid of the net into the divine sacred geometry pattern of the human body so that our spirit can act on the physical plane. The next body is the pranamaya kosha, the sheath of vital energy. Life energy is known to every classical tradition and was an essential foundation of key spiritual and healing practices. Life energy was known by different names, such as prana in India, chi in China, ki in Japan, ether in Greek. Then there are further sheaths of the human being on increasingly higher plane levels.
It's like, look, we humans are the same now as we were 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. We're 50,000, a little bit different, but not very much. We're basically, imagine humans the way we are now with the same proclivities, the same intellectual capacity, etc. We've been this way for a very long time. So certainly you go back to, any civilization in recorded history, we were essentially exactly like we are now. So take away all of our empirical knowledge everything that we actually genuinely know about the universe, about atoms and molecules, about forces, about particles, about everything, most of which has been gathered in the last 150 years or so. Take away all of that. I don't fault at all scholars. Even you could even call them, we'll call them philosophers, mystics, whatever. Like, just if you go far back in time enough, we didn't know anything, and people were still smart. You could still have smart people that come up with explanations for reality and phenomena that they encounter, and it's all fabricated, but it's perhaps you could call it an attempt to explain something about reality, and it's essentially just conjured up, right? It's just something like, maybe it's this fucking shit, the shape and the thing and the chi and the blah 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 and the 5 point, and it's always very methodical, very baseless, but very methodical, because we are methodical. We like organization and structure, and it's like, these are the 5 things of the thing, and here are the 7 things. It's all fucking pulled right out of our ass, but we didn't know anything. So you go back 5,000 years, even 2,000 years, okay, they came up with this shit, and that's what they came up with, right? Now we have actual real knowledge. So stop doing that and learn the real thing, right? We actually know stuff. The reason that you have a computer or a phone or whatever you're watching right now, and the internet and all of this shit that has allowed modernity and all of its terror and glory simultaneously, is because we have begun to understand the fucking universe and the components and the structure and how it operates and everything, and have begun and understand it so well that we can manipulate it now and generate materials and we can make technology, that we can create technology on the basis of our understanding of the universe, which blows all of this crap out of the water, right? All of it, like that anyone clings to ancient superstitions in the modern era is fucking insane. I'm sorry, but it just is. Like, if you think about it, to just like kind of like, oh, that's neat. That's a neat thing that we used to think, and you can even be inspired by it. You can even, in some weird tangential way, find it inspiring and moving or whatever, and gain something from it. But it's kind of definitely undeniably better to actually possess real knowledge. So we should stick with that, and you guys should maybe catch up with that a little bit. Just a suggestion.
There are many different models of the different planes and subtle bodies that are taught in different traditions. However, they are all united by a common understanding that just as we are given a physical body through which our spirit incarnates to act on the physical plane, each of our subtle bodies is a detachment of the substance of a particular higher plane, which we individualize to become our vehicle so that we can experience and act on higher planes. We operate on all the major planes simultaneously. We experience this as simultaneously having sensations in the physical body, and in our energetic state, and in our emotions, and in our thoughts, and in our spiritual experiences, all at the same time.
This is why pyramid schemes work, because like there is a certain kind of person that if you just show them like, here are the 7 things of the thing, it's this one and there's a certain kind of person that's like, oh, you've shown me an organized thing with something numerical and geometrical, and that triggers something in my brain that makes me implicitly believe you. And that's why pyramid schemes are a thing. Anyway, that was all right. I think these are 2 more really short ones here. So this one is called "The Pleiadians Are Here. How Are They Guiding Humanity?" So Pleiadian, I can only imagine, it means beings from the Pleiades, which are stars that are, I think, relatively close to the Earth in terms of, I mean, compared to other stars. I don't know, they're within fuck, I don't know, within 100 light years, definitely. Maybe closer, maybe within 20 or something. I don't remember. The Pleiades are a star cluster, and they're featured prominently in ancient Greek and Roman mythology. I know for sure. I don't know if other cultures have anything like that. So Pleiadians are here. They're here, you guys. They're here. Fuck Avi Loeb. Fuck Avi Loeb being like, a comet might be a spaceship, and they might say, fuck you, Avi Loeb. They're here, and they're from the Pleiades. They're here already, motherfucker. You're late. You're late to the game. They're already here, and they're making a super civilization here. I don't know what the fuck this is. You can't see the first frame yet. You're looking at my face, but I'm looking at the first frame, and it's a fucking magic, super futuristic civilization. I don't know where this is. Is this Dubai? I don't live here. I've never seen this place.
The people from Pleiades are actually high vibrational beings that could see future, past, present, and kind of guided the rest of the people in the galaxy to create the Confederation.
Okay. Oh, wow. I don't know. Should we even do this? This is ridiculous. This is L. Ron Hubbard shit. This is like Thetans and what's the God damn it, what is the name of the god in the Scientology? There's like a I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember. There's like a main guy. And it's just like this shit. It's just like, it's literally a sci-fi novel that they're just like, but it's real. Like I said, Gaia is, here's some shit we made up, and it's real. Like, this is, the Pleiadians came and they did the thing and the blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So they go beyond the systems, beyond the...
Also, why the fuck are they people? These are organisms from another system, but they're people? How the fuck does that work? How did people evolve in another place that's not people? You wanna, help me out with that.
Idea of having politics, of having structures like pyramids and stuff, they are trying to work with the inner systems. So they work with our chakras, with our emotions, with our soul. Because they are in the fifth dimension, most of them just take the shape of what we expect for them to be. So they are familiar to us.
Oh, that's convenient. That's convenient. I don't have to I don't have to think about how to portray these these organisms from outer space, because they just appear like humans. It's fine. They're from the fifth dimension. They're not even from the fourth dimension. They're from the fifth dimension. That's crazy. That doesn't mean anything, of course, but they are. They're from the fifth dimension, and they appear as people, and they connect with our chakras, which are a thing that does not exist. And so it's perfect. It makes sense. Don't question it. Just go with it.
They don't eat. They don't have this relationship with matter as we do. That's why they can transcend the matter and they can shape as they wish, because basically they are using light and they can mold the light by thinking. That's why they look like these perfect beings, but it's because we project on them this perfection.
Perfect beings. They kind of look like elves in Lord of the Rings, right? Is that a perfect being? They can mold light as though light is the thing that is moldable. This one is 98,000 views, so that's more than the other one. So 100,000 people roughly were like, oh, this seems like a good way to spend my time. I'm contributing one of those views myself, I guess. Who knows how many of these views are sarcastic views? That's what I would like to know. There needs to be a metric on YouTube that's like 100,000 views, but 60,000 of those views were joking, right? To just, take that into account.
According to what witnesses you are speaking to, we will find many different perspectives in terms of contact with the Pleiadians. It is important to analyze and be discerning of all the information because, in some cases, they appear to be very scientific and observant, such as what was told from the alleged Pleiadians to Billy Edward Meyer. They stated we are not spiritual guidance counselors for humanity. We are simply more evolved beings with different science that are observing without interfering.
Yeah, we're observing without interfering, except whoopsie, we accidentally interfered. And like, we're not even made of matter. The guy said that, I think he said they're not made of matter. So if you're not even perceivable to humans, but you on purpose made yourself perceivable to humans, and you're saying you're not trying to interfere, that doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense at all. It also kind of bothers me, like, these people, like, this is a made up word, right? But it's called the Pleiades. They're called the Pleiades. So it would be Pleiadians or Pleiadians, right? If you're going to make, so Pleiadian, I don't even remember what they said, but I know that it's wrong. It's a made-up word, and they made it up, and it's wrong. It's not even a real word, but I know that they're saying it wrong. And that pisses me off probably more than anything else here.
However, this image of the Pleiadians changes when it comes to the channelings. This becomes more an image of spiritual guidance counselors, which even give to humans methods of meditation and raising consciousness. Let me remind you that the Pleiades is a large constellation with many different planets.
I am not aware of any exoplanets having been identified within the Pleiades. I hesitate because I don't think there are. Maybe there are, but this graphic is not indicative of anything there.
There are beings that speak about contact with beings from the star Tegeta, where others speak about contact with beings from the Maya star. And including that, extraterrestrials have shared with us names that are unknown to us about different stars in the Pleiades. I could add that these beings that tend to have a human aspect, that have good intentions with us, and have attempted to provide us useful information.
The main goal of Pleiadian people is to become seeds of creation for planets that are becoming aware. So they are the main people that can download what is being created in the 6th dimension into the 3rd dimension.
6th dimension? I thought they were in the 5th dimension. Now they're in the 6th dimension? It's like in Mighty Wind. What is it? I used that clip in a video once. Like, we're all beings on the 76th. We are materialized light operating on the 76th vibration. You can make that conclusion walking down the street or going to the store. Like, that's exactly what that's exactly what this shit sounds like. And also, by the way, you're like, funny how you're all a bunch of ineffectual morons, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? You've been bestowed with this ultra incredible galactic super secret information. What the fuck are you doing with it? Are you making any technology? Why aren't we traveling to other star systems with all your super awesome knowledge? Why are you just a bunch of boners that make shitty videos? Want to answer me that?
Basically, they say if all creation comes from the 6th dimension to the 3rd dimension, that means that the 3rd dimension can also be able to modify the 6th dimension and to create a new reality. Their agenda is to help each one of these worlds that are in process of evolution to become the creators of their own reality. So the Pleiadians are the only ones that can teach us and show us how to connect with that inner truth that other species cannot.
Yeah, if you go into a field and you do this thing and you connect with the Pleiadians, you can get your raise that you wanted at work, or you can make that person that you have a boner for like you, or all of this other trivial shit that's so fucking inconsequential compared to interstellar space travel. That's what they're selling here, let's be frank.
So listening to them and connecting to them would be the best option for us today.
As we are so close to the Pleiades, you can see why a civilization like that would want to keep an eye on us. Because what we do on our planet could have dramatic effects on their star system.
Yeah, we are so close to interstellar space travel, you guys. We're fucking around the corner from that shit. So they need to come over here and be like, uh-oh, let's figure it out. Let's enlighten them. We're around the corner from it. We haven't set foot on another planet, and we're not even close to doing it. No, yeah, we're super close to interstellar space travel. We could go over there and fuck shit up for the Pleiadians, who are so dramatically more powerful than us that why the fuck would they be worried about that in the first place?
So they are coming here, infiltrating, trying to guide, make sure that we don't do anything stupid, I think is their number one imperative.
Regarding the Pleiades, I believe they're 444 light years away. That's some distance to travel every day to go to work. And so I'm not sure where they're living. Maybe they have a bungalow out at Area 51 or some other place. I'm not joking about that. Maybe they have facilities for...
You're not joking about the Pleiadians that are coming here. First of all, you're pretending that they're commuting from I'm going to trust him and say, I said like 144 light years away, that they're coming back and forth. But no, they have a bungalow at Area 51. What the fuck are you talking about? Holy shit.
For these ET races to live here. They come from another planet and they might have special needs. They might have to breathe different atmosphere, eat different foods. And so there may be something that they require to survive, environmentally speaking. And so we might have to accommodate them in some special way.
Jesus fucking Christ. Who could watch this video? Who is this for? Who is this for? Like, I get that you're like, aliens maybe? Maybe aliens. Maybe aliens came from I don't know and they're here and I don't know what they're about. Like, maybe that. But no, they're from the Pleiades and they're from the sixth dimension and they incarnate into this form and they want to do that. Like, this just like this like assertion of all this fucking ultra specific shit with zero basis. Like, who the fuck falls for this shit? I can't believe it. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. All right, this is the last one. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. It's been 2 hours. This is called Divine DNA, Awaken Your Dormant Psychic Power. And it's a short one. Thank the Pleiadians. This is going to be quick. Let's check this out.
What if psychic abilities are not rare anomalies, but clues to an untapped power within us all? Could feats like bending a spoon with the mind reveal the true potential of human consciousness?
So when we think about what the best science of the modern world is now telling us about our relationship to the field of energy that underlies all existence, it makes perfect sense that we would have the ability to interact with that field.
It's just the most offensive thing is just them pretending that any of this is derived from actual legitimate science. They're like, the best science ever. Like, you guys, like, you don't know science, but like I do, and I read all the science, and so I'm telling you, this is coming from the science, right? Science says this shit, and so I'm telling you the story, but it comes from science. It's in like a science book somewhere. Don't look at it. It's fine. Don't look it up. Just, this is science, you guys. It's not some bullshit stories we made up. It's science. Trust me.
We always have. We may not have known the science, but we certainly knew the processes that will facilitate these, and we call these psychic abilities.
Psychic abilities are when you can access information that is outside the 5 physical senses.
What I tend to call it is universal Wi-Fi. You know, it's like, just like our cell phones are connected to Wi-Fi or our computers and the internet. It's like we're living in a big internet, if you will, where we can get access to information. It's incredible.
Psychic abilities encompass a wide range of phenomena. Some of the most common are psychokinesis and telekinesis, the abilities to influence or move physical objects with the mind. Telepathy, the transfer of thoughts or emotions between individuals. Precognition, the perception of future events. Presentiment, the sensing of something before it happens. And deep intuition, a profound knowing that guides decisions without conscious reasoning. Together, these abilities reflect our biological connection to an energetic field, with the mind and body acting as antennas to access this universal source of information.
Yeah, an energetic field. It's magic is real because energy field. No need to substantiate the energy field. No need to show empirically that it exists whatsoever. It just does, and that's how you do magic, because we say so.
So when we talk about psychic abilities, we are exploring our biological relationship in an energetic field. We are the technology we've been waiting for. We are the transducers. We are the soft technology that is interfacing with information that lives in the field, our divinity. This is where our imagination, our creativity, our innovation, our love, our healing, all originate in that field. And many psychic experiences are actually rooted in what we call deep intuition.
So it's hunches, gut feelings. If I'm standing in front of someone that I don't know they're dangerous, I can't perceive the danger with my 5 senses, but the hair on the back of my neck is standing up, that would be an intuitive hit.
Okay, Sarah Palin. I can't perceive with my 5 senses, but I know anyway. No, you're making inferences. They look like a fucking psychopath. Right? Give me a break. You can't tell with your 5 senses. You're taking something, you're taking some visual input or auditory input or something, and you're processing it, and you're coming to a conclusion. Probably totally consciously, but if not, then subconsciously. It is all based on the 5 senses, and you're not doing any magic, psychic, any whatever the fuck. And whatever conclusion you make based on that is probably wrong anyway. You've just convinced yourself it's right because you're a shitty narcissist.
Something's not right here.
Intuition is just on a spectrum of various psychic abilities, and it might be the most common. What people might call gut hunches, or I just know it, or I just feel that it's true. It is a type of psychic ability that shows up in a particular way, whether it's through the body, known cognitively, or known through emotions.
Yeah, none of that shit is magic. Just because you can't articulate why you know something or why you've come to a certain conclusion doesn't mean it's based on fucking magic, right? You're picking up on if you meet somebody and you come to the conclusion that they're shady or not trustworthy, it's not fucking magic. It's because you're noticing some nuance about the way they behave or communicate, their body language, or some just very just small details. And just because you can't articulate exactly what you're picking up on doesn't mean it's not based on the fucking 5 senses and just basic shit. Yeah, intuition, like the word intuition is, I mean, it kind of is what I just described. It doesn't mean magic, right? It's just something you're making inferences. And just because you can't tether it to an individual, this, therefore this, right? It's a lot of input, right? You're taking in a lot of data. If you watch someone behave for 30 minutes, that's a lot of data. They say a lot of things. They do a lot of movements, a lot of motion. You're taking in all that data and you're processing it, and you come to a conclusion, right? It doesn't it's not a very small. It's not a small data set, right? So it's not easy. You just say intuition, right? That person seems like a fucking fraud or a liar or a shitty person or whatever, or they seem like a good person. They seem like a really good, honest, genuine person. Or it's I don't know. This is crazy.
Psychic abilities
are so prevalent that remote viewing science tells us that only 10% of people don't have them, and those are the people who doubt and deny them.
Every fucking time. If you think that psychic is not a thing, then you won't have it. If you're sitting there being like, meh, psychic is not real, then you don't get to have it. 90% of people are psychic, but not you, stupid skeptic, naysaying jerkface. I'm talking to you, Dave Farina. You're never going to be psychic because you don't want to be. You don't want to believe in psychic, so you won't be psychic like the rest of us, even though nobody has ever demonstrated psychic ability ever. 90% of this fucking idiot is saying that 90% of people are psychic, and yet nobody has ever demonstrated psychic ability fucking ever. You're a moron.
So what they're saying, and what I've seen personally, is that literally everyone has them.
When psychic experiences are far more common than many might assume, it challenges us to rethink what we know about human potential, suggesting these phenomena are deeply woven into the human experience. This universality raises intriguing questions about how these abilities manifest.
I love how all you have to do to seem psychic is just close your eyes. If you just go, that's a psychic person doing a psychic thing. They're just going, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. They're doing a psychic thing. They're predicting something that you can't tell. You're not in their psychic mind. How would you know? But they're doing a psychic thing. That's what's happening. Palm readings. We're going to do a palm reading now. This is good.
And what they might reveal about our connection to the unseen forces of reality.
Oh, God damn it. Why do you guys make me do this? You don't make me do this. I do this willingly. I'm joking. But, yeah, that was as much as it pisses me off, it's a brief respite from the, as you all know, I've gotten a lot more serious with my targets here. I'm going after people who are very influential in there are influential culturally or politically especially. Our government has become infiltrated with pseudoscience. Pseudoscience is being peddled by official state channels. And so I am definitely very busy. I have some debunks coming up that I consider to be quite important and relevant. And this kind of shit is just, this is a break from that, if anything. But I'm gonna be honest. I knew what Gaia is, and I've seen a Gaia thing I think before. But it's like I watch a couple of these, and it's like, holy shit, man! Who the fuck is fond of it? The guy's like, oh, they're from the Pleiades, and they came down here, and they're from the 73rd vibration of the thing, and they do the thing. It's like, where the fuck are you getting this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why would anybody think that any of the shit that you're making up very clearly making up is true somehow? I shudder to that. This one only had 16K views. This is good. Gaia is not getting a lot of views, you guys. 16K views in 7 months. I mean, it's a 5-minute thing. Maybe it's a clip of a longer thing, but I don't know. That was ridiculous. That was fucking ridiculous. We're all dumber. We're all much dumber now. I tried to say some smart things. I hope that everyone learned one fact. Did you learn one? If you learned one fact, tell me in a comment which one fact you learned. I think I said some facts. I think I said some facts while elucidating how dumb this shit was. So maybe everybody got one fact. Anyway, hopefully that was fun. I hope you're having a fun beginning of your holiday times. I hope that you drank along. Maybe people are are coming up with drinking game ideas. Every time I face palm, take a drink. Every time I come up with your own. I don't know. I can't tell you how to live. You guys got to have your own fun times. I'm just trying to do my thing over here. And I'm done now. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. That was, I think we all had some fun. And we'll have some more fun again soon. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.